And there is also one other like slightly mundane thing I wanted to bring up as well. I don't know, for some people it might be interesting, and it's that the concept of free food, like grocery store food being free, is also a good idea, I think. So, you know, how this would change is basically, you would still like go to the grocery store to pick up your stuff. But when it comes time to like check out, you would just scan the food items to say, hey, this is what all I took from the store. This is what I got. But you wouldn't pay anything. It would just be like, okay, now we have it like written down that you took this stuff. Of course, the obvious criticism of this is then like, well, then people will just be a douche and take like all the food. No, because think about the mechanisms of storage that people have in their house. You know, typically you'd have a pantry, a fridge, and a freezer. And it wouldn't be unreasonable to think, well, I would want to keep these pretty decently stocked as much as I can. So, the maximal extent to which you could be a douche is, like, what you're supposed to do. You know, like, keep your house stocked with food. You know, any more than that, you'd have to, like, seriously invest in like, extra storage stuff. You'd have to, like, have a house full of mini fridges to get anywhere to the point where, like, you would really start hampering the needs of other people who also need food from that grocery store or whatever. So on the individual front, like, yeah, it's pretty easy to handle on the consumer end. And then on the restaurant front as well, I've actually seen a counter argument that I had to think about for a minute, of like, oh, if you made grocery store food free, then restaurants would like basically raid the grocery store and they take all the food for themselves to then sell to customers. But no, because that's not how it works either. Restaurant owners do not go to the store or send somebody to the store with like a shopping basket and get food from the shelves. They, in fact, sometimes they just don't even get food from the grocery store at all. They usually get the food from the market. The people that distribute food to the grocery store are also the people that distribute food to the restaurant. And this is what happens anyway. The only difference is they have to buy the food. Which, I mean, for the purposes of a restaurant, you could still have restaurant food cost money. You know, that would be fine, because that's a business. That's not a person that's, you know, getting the food for their own preparation and consumption. That is a business that is getting food to prepare for customers, and people are going to the restaurant for the dining experience, whatever. So that's that counter argument diffused. And then another counter argument is on the production and distribution side, as opposed to the consumer side of this dynamic, where, you know, people will say, oh, but then how would you manage like a national food economy? You know, how would you make sure the people at the grocery store are getting their paycheck and all that? Easy. We already do this. We subsidize the agriculture business in the United States to the tune of a lot of fucking money. That's why the agribusiness is so profitable, because we pay for it out of our tax dollars. And all it would take is saying, okay, grocery store employees, you're now getting a government paycheck. You know, we're guaranteeing your paycheck. Since the food is free, that's not where you're getting your paycheck from. You're getting your paycheck from us because we already pay for the food production and distribution. Now we'll pay, you know, you, so you don't have to be working 8 hours at the grocery store for no pay, giving food to people. There you go, problem solved. Although this does open it up to another counter argument that, well, what if the store employees want to unionize? Now they're not dealing with a company that is not the government. They are dealing with the government, which has the authority to make law. And that is a decent counter argument, which I will address right now. The government is better at respecting the law than big companies are. So that's a point in favor of nationalizing the food industry and making grocery store stuff free, not a point against it. Like, companies have way less reservations, at least domestically. Companies have way fewer reservations about breaking the law than the government does. Because the government still has to maintain a sense of legitimacy in order to function as a government. And also the government is not filled with fucking evil monsters who only care about money. Companies sort of... they're not like filled to the brim, but they have more people like that just by design, because that's what a company is designed to do. And that's not really what a government is about. So anyways, free food is based and correct, morally correct, and we should do it. I'm dead.